I understand. Come on! I understand it can be flat. Here is what the It is 8:45 in the morning time on this Wednesday morning, June 3rd, 2020. It's time now for the Peter Cholo Morning News on this Wednesday morning, June 3rd, 2020. And good morning to y'all this lovely Wednesday morning, June 3rd, 2020. It is 8:46 and the Norton temperature is 65 degrees. Top stories out of Peter Cholo Morning News at 8:45 is Steve King, Republican wins three racist remarks, loses Iowa primary. George Floyd protests spread nationwide. Mark Zuckerberg defends decision on Trump post to Facebook employees. Trump threatens writers with military. Biden urges racial healing. New York City Mayor de Blasio extends citywide curfew for June 7 George Floyd protests. Trump pushes the military response to civil unrest. Evangelical top Republican senators defend Trump's church photo op after peaceful protesters cleared out. Trump defends general correct choice on the use of tear gas to quit the CDC with tear gas. DC Circuit sectorial arguments state to the review Judge Sullivan's refusal to immediately close Michael Flynn's case. McConnell, Schumer blocked each other's resolution in response to George Floyd's death and arrest. Powerful Cyclone Maxwell landfall near Indian city of Mumbai. Boris Johnson offers refugees UK citizenship pathfinder, nearly 3 billion Hong Kongers. Tensions in Paris over the death of the black Frenchman. Justin Trudeau lost of woods over Trump handling the George Floyd protests. Last two patients released from Boston Hope Hospital. Private payroll declined by 2.76 million in the May. ADP says that a much small drop in fear. Brent oil rises past $40 with OPEC extension looking likely. Looking at stocks today, out is up 267.63 at 25, 742.65. S&P 500 at 25.09 at 342, and Nasdaq up 56.33 at 9608.38. SpaceX rocket returns to the show after historic astronaut launch. Cleanest air ever identified by atmospheric scientists for the first of its kind of study. Dr. Anthony Fauci says there's a chance the coronavirus vaccine may not provide immunity for very long. Study pending national drug Trump took against COVID faces new questions and concerns about two studies on drugs for coronavirus. Donors have pledged $1.3 billion in aid for war to Yemen, but a total well before the $2.4 billion the United Nations aimed to raise. Cyclone Nisarga makes rare landfall in western India. UN chief calls for protection of migrants, refugees amid pandemic. Trump signed the International Religious Freedom Executive Order visit China. So, the Pentagon said Thursday that it is accepting a $200 billion proposal of South Korea to fund labor costs for Korea to deploy some United States forces Korea, a move that comes as a cost-sharing negotiation in the past. Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he will overall the country's visa system created a possible path to the citizenship for some 3 million Hong Kong residents and China implements its new national security law. U.S. home buyers are returning to need marketing and number as much of the United States has begun to reopen the following weeks of needs during the coronavirus pandemic. Pentagon Science Advisor Chris Over security text for Trump church photos. George W. Bush said it's time in America to examine their tragic failures. Biden streets primaries in 7 states and D.C. The Pentagon on Thursday night might move about 600 active duty Army troops to the Washington, D.C. area as part of measure to potentially assist law enforcement in positive protest the area. President Trump signed an order to allot at least $50 million U.S. programs that about international religious freedoms that have developed plenty of countries that violate such rights. The coronavirus pandemic has taken its toll on Americans' mental health, with more than 88,000 people developing anxiety and depression as a result of the Mental Health America. Peter Children's time is 8:50. Two North Alabama homes hit by fire. Protests took place in Tuesday and Buckner response to the death of George Floyd. Minneapolis after police officer put in the neck in 9 minutes. One protest stressed unity while another was blocked by hostile toward. Park police ended with tear gas. Fireworks that have a projectiles one of police and vandalism. Peter Children's time, 8:31. Time now for a sports report. D-backs can get a 114 game. MLB players proposal as a non-starter. The unpopular Richmond-based Redskins training camp arrangement with Frisbee and West Until legendary Worcester Bulls split center dies at 74, and Sacramento Kings answer Grant Napier upon all lives matter tweet. Peter Children's time is 8:31. Look at that traffic and trends to check at 8:51. On the MBTA West Line trade, 15 7 a.m. from Worcester to Water. Worcester is over 20, 30 minutes faster due to a mechanical issue. And the ferries they are laying ahead. Northbound side a little bit slower, Greenfield, Massachusetts. 95, southbound also between Bridgewater and December, Bird Parkway, westbound also Bridgewater and December. 95, northbound side a little bit slow, 120 in Canton, and Main, they're back on the southbound side a little bit slow, around 295 in Augusta, Maine. And 91, southbound a little bit slow on upstate Vermont, and Outwards 55, slow on both ends around southern Quebec. Peter Children's time, 8:52. Time now for weather report. It's going to be check the shots for today. I may after 3 p.m. Mostly clouds, 80 degrees southwest spot. 3 to 8 mile an hour. West gets out. 21 mile an hour. 30% tonight. Check the shots rain before 7 p.m. Mostly clouds. They're coming. Mostly just clouds. 59 degrees. Calm just for 30%. Thursday, mostly stuck to 85 degrees southwest spot. 3 to 8 mile an hour. West gets out. 20 mile an hour. Thursday night. Slight check the shots after 2 p.m. But because for 62 degrees south about 5 mile an hour. Coming in the evening. Just to 20% for Friday. Slight chance of thunderstorms, partly south 85 degrees south, about 3 to 7 mile an hour, just to the straight set fire. Slight chance of thunderstorms after that, we'll see 67 degrees south, about 5 to 7 mile an hour, just to the straight set. For Saturday, chance partly south, can be 1 low 50 degrees south, about 6 mile an hour, just to the 40% for Sunday, chance between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Partly southern, partly 73 low 52 degrees north, about 6 mile an hour, just to 30% for Monday. Sun skies by 34 low 52 degrees north, about 5 mile an hour for today, both at 77 degrees. Let the wind right now, north and it is 65 degrees in overcast skies. That's going to be the morning news on this June 3rd, 2020 on a 1-to-1. And P words will be have a good morning, guys. Stay safe, be positive, be healthy, be well. We'll have a wonderful day.